All right, so this is a YouTube video that I want to make for current events. I haven't really thought about what I wanted to talk about, but I knew I wanted to make one. My plan was to actually walk around in these videos and kind of just have a free think, but since that's not going to happen, today, I'm gonna just do this talking on here. So, current events. It is August 21st, 2020, Oroville, California, downtown. And I've been working on my books and art and music stuff. Still under COVID-19 rules for the most part, California, and currently there's a bunch of fires throughout California. So I don't have TV, so I don't really watch the news, and then Facebook is pretty limited, and so I'm not really up to date with what's going on in the world, in the outer world, other than some political stuff, which I really don't feel like talking about. And I would talk about my art, but that's another blog. But I did want to talk about social media and I forgot exactly what I wanted to say about social media. But I think it's important. Yeah, you know, this current events as far as politics, I've been going back to history and kind of seeing what was happening during World War II and whatnot. And as I hear more and more political threats of war and these sanctions in China, and you know what I mean, world politics, it's pretty crazy. And hold on a second, shoot. So I don't know why that was random. So anyway, so I have the music on for background music. So there's like a CD or sound that doesn't have no voices, no singing. So that's kind of what that's for. So yeah, politics, it's crazy because you know, the world's changing, first of all, with technology and social media, are talking to each other stuff, which I'm not going to get into on this one. And then, what's happening at the second right now with the politics in technology, and it's kind of like a Cold War, right? Everybody's talking about Cold War stuff, and I'm not sure what the networks are saying on normal TV, but through some social media stuff, I was able to hear some world politics, and you know, the Middle East is a hot spot. Seems oil is a hot spot. But it goes, you know, space. You got Tesla in space. So it's pretty, my theory is that it's always been something. In every generation, there's always something. So, but what's interesting is specifically what is happening today. And as technology and social media and all this, like communications get more powerful. Us humans are trying to catch up with our governments and policies to, to watch over the masses. And so it's a little crazy. Man, the song just keeps going on. All right, hold on. And I guess the reasons that I talk about this stuff or think about this stuff here is because I have a lot of stories that are about this stuff. So it's kind of a little crazy to have, these stories that are about governments and world politics and stuff. Not really about that specifically, but just about what would happen in the future. And we're in the future, so it's like I'm writing stuff about technology and about supercomputers and artificial intelligence, which, me and my brother thought about this stuff in, 92. And we've been working on it for a while, so it's kind of like now it's happening. You know what I mean? It's kind of like artificial intelligence, like really. And so yeah, current events is interesting to me because of that particular reason, I don't know if all storytellers think about this or all comic book sci-fi writers think about all this stuff, but to see people like what's his name, the guy from Amazon, sorry, if you're watching this, Jeff Bezos, that's who it is, and Elon Musk. What's crazy about it is it's such a small world that these dudes probably might be watching this, for whatever reason. I'm an artist, and I know some of the hoopla that is current events. And but it's kind of weird as an artist, to have free speech or to say, like everybody on Facebook and whatever other social media platforms that humans are on in the Western civilization. All of us are just talking and thinking and wondering and complaining and venting and just kind of walking around, trying to think about our own little circle in our own world, and then some of us are like, oh, what's going on over in China, and are in space or whatever. So YouTube is a great medium. It's uncontrolled, which I think might be all right, but there's a lot of room for this to be able to get a little bit more humane. But at this second, it is what it is, and we all got to be here and live in the moment, and so I'm making this YouTube, and the current event in China, which I saw on YouTube, and there's just so much information. And the thing with, I don't know what cities, but the thing is, there's also information that is could be very skewed and one-sided. And so I'm not sure to trust the YouTube video that I saw in China that talks about how technologically advanced their cities are and how they don't use paper dollars. So I'm sure like the cities that were on the video were relevant. So it's pretty crazy to see a different society than the one we're in, and this was like in 2017 or something. I don't know, 15, 17. So it was older video, and just the idea that we don't even know what other countries. We have an idea of what China is, and but our idea is so skewed by our government and our mass media and our news programs that all we think about is like ancient China, or some crazy Asian dude ready to drop a nuclear bomb, right? And the reality of it, that's not the truth, and to think that that was a glimpse of the future of what might happen, and what, or not, as far as not using dollar bills, right? And that, I grew up on dollar bills, I grew up on coins. As far as I can think of history, we've used some kind of form of coins and metals, and as far as Western civilization, as a way to trade and buy. And to think like we're moving into a supercomputer age where we're going to be, like we use credit cards. I remember like before debit cards and plastic cards, So I remember before that. And then we got debit cards, and they were cool, like buying stuff with a card. And then bank tellers, like the ATM machines, and that was cool. And then on your phone, then we got smartphones, and now trading, doing all your banking on your phone, or on the internet. And now the idea where you use your phone to buy everything, and cameras and phones, and cameras with phones, and phones with cameras. So that is, something that's relevant to everybody. Relevant. It's weird because I get information, and then I wonder like what everyone else, like I don't have these conversations with too many people, but when I do have a conversation with somebody, like I can kind of, we're all on the same boat. We're all wondering, what's going on. And when I hear these people talk, like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Macintosh guy and Apple guy with the Microsoft guy, and all these, tech guys talking about the future and what's going to happen. It feels we're all kind of in a very exciting, interesting metamorphosis into some kind of communications generation. When they were talking about Bitcoin, I saw like the Netflix movie thing on Bitcoin, and it was like interesting to hear about the history of Bitcoin, and then to think the government people didn't really know what the Bitcoin was, or they didn't, like the judges that were judging, sentencing some of the guys for some kind of breaking a bunch of laws, I guess. And so they were questioning these guys, and they were like, what is Bitcoin and what does it do? And the tech guys are like, don't you know? And then so this kind of like wave of tech that changes society in very important age-old ways that we do commerce and is the older generation, even me, even from my age on up, are kind of set in our ways and what we want and how we like to have dollar bills or whatever, and buy our food with the teller, and feel weird ordering food online, like having your groceries, I guess. I don't know if food, maybe everybody's into that now, but that's kind of weird to me. I mean, it's actually pretty convenient, but like what Amazon is doing, kind of, like I said, I'm a slow learner. I'm like the late comer when it comes to like tech. So, the idea of like what we're at with the schooling, even doing online schooling and education, and it's pretty interesting, and I don't really have too much to say because we're right in the middle of this like phenomenon, and there's so much whatever they have next for us, like as a group, it's probably pretty crazy. I know they hit a level head, and so 3D and all the stuff that they're talking about, probably interesting. I don't know why they haven't unfolded it yet, but like it's interesting to like what I saw was these things of when they made the telephone and the science that they had to figure it out, like what radio waves and condensers and all this stuff. So to think where we're at now with how powerful our computers are and condensed they are, is pretty interesting for a thinker or for a storyteller when you see how society is actually using it, and kind of like the effects of Instagram and the effects of YouTube, you know what I mean? Like there's positive and negative effects. So to me, that's kind of what's interesting, and to see China and maybe some other countries using tech in their countries or in their societies a little bit more progressive, and then to see America and the West kind of trying to play catch up on it gives me thoughts of like old Europe, you know what I mean? Kind of like how Europe was in castles and all that stuff, and then America kind of started doing all this crazy stuff, and so yeah, that's all I don't really have too much to say on current events, other than we're going through a bunch of shit. Like this is like, if I really talked about current events, there's just too much to even talk about. But this is all outside stuff. This is all like worldwide changes and countries and wars and all this stuff. So everybody, as far as us normal people, it's pretty much day-to-day normal, like day-to-day stuff, other than being told, the government telling you what to do a little bit more. They're more intrusive. But I don't know. So yeah, so that's about my current events. We got 20 minutes on this. Let's see if we'll post this.